Okay, in this lesson I'm gonna cover a complex number. So complex number math. Okay, complex is normally when you have a number. Let's say you have a 90. Let's say you have 90 minus 4i, right? So this is a number for real number, and this is the imaginary. So all this together is complex. That's what is called complex number. Let's say you have a square root of x square. So square root of x square, if you x square it, so it cancels, right? And you have only x here. But anytime you square something, you have positive and negative at the front. So you have here positive and negative. Square root of 49i. That's why it's now call it a this I call it imaginary number. So I is imaginary number because you can square this. So in order to do square this, we have to add the I. So I is that, right? So I will explain more. 49 is the real number, right? Or like I say here, let's say you have 2 plus 49i, right? So the 2 is the real number, 49i is the imaginary number. Combine both is what it's called complex, right? So I is equal to always square root of negative 1. This is the same as that, right? So what about if you square it the I? If you square the I for that and you square this, what's gonna happen now? This is become I, and this is a square root of become a negative 1. This is what it's all about, right? So if you square it, it become this. Because how it become negative I? Let me explain it one more. You have this square, right? Sorry, you have, let's say you have I equal to square root of negative 1, right? So you don't want this radical. So you don't want this radical. So you just want the negative 1. So what you're gonna do is you square the I. When you square the I and you square this one too, because if you square here, you have to square here too. So then you're gonna have I square and this square. You see the 2 here, it cancels that. So now you have negative 1. Am I right? Yeah. So you have I square negative 1. That's what it is. So I itself is equal to square root of 1. I square is equal to negative 1. So I explain it more, right? So let me just clean here, and then we're gonna keep continue, and just gonna explain it more. So yeah, so I square it is equal to negative 1. I is imaginary number, right? So that's how it goes. Now we're gonna do addition, subtraction, multiplication for complex number. Okay, let's say you have 4 plus 2i, imaginary number, plus 2i. So 4 plus 4 is 7. 2i plus 2i is 4i. It's not multiplication. This ends like 7 plus 4i. What about if you have a 2 minus times 5i? No, 5 minus 2i, sorry. What is this equal to? Okay, 2 times, before you multiply, you have to multiply the negative here. So negative times minus 5, so you'll have 2 negative times 5, you will get negative 5. Negative times negative 2i, you will get positive 2i. So 2 minus 5, you get here 3 plus 2i. This is how it ends out. So this you have 3 plus 4i. So you done this one too. What about the multiplication? So we did the addition, subtraction, now multiplication. So now we have 2 times negative 1. So we got negative 2. 2 times positive 4i, we got a 6i, right? And 3 times negative 3i times negative 1, we got a negative 3i. But here is supposed to be 8 for here, 8i, right? And then we have now 3i times 4i, we got 12i plus 12i square, because I times I is I square. So now we have here for we have here 8i minus 3i, right? So 8 will become 5i. It's right there, 5i. And 2 times negative 1 is this, minus 2, plus we say it 2i square, 2i square, I square equal to what? We say a negative 1. So we have 12 times negative 1. So what we got now? Minus 2. We have minus 2. And 12 times negative 1 is negative 12. So this become a negative 14 plus 5i here, plus 5i. This is the final answer. This is how you do the complex, and I'm gonna do one more after this lesson.